Hey, what's up? It's a JRV with Lost to LIvin. You're going to see a quick little video of my over the bars to this stuff right here. And then it's going to go into a talk of the crash, some depression and everything that went along with the crash, and where I'm at now. Hope you like the video.
A second.
We're good. Be safe.
So what's up, everybody? Sitting outside in the backyard, so the audio is not going to be perfect. Got my little mic, sorry for the noise, that would normally be hooked up to me, to my shirt. Obviously, I can't with this little neck brace on, so just trying to make do. So as you saw at the beginning of the video, I was up at Santiago Oaks. Had Strava going, which is my downfall because it's all ego with me lately, trying to set PRs and beat times and all that. And was pedaling into Yucca. I was with one of my buddies and was pedaling into Yucca. Pedaled a lot faster. Started pedaling before I normally would, fast, and then continued my speed. Hit that first little berm up on that hill, and I kind of knew then I was coming in a little hot. I figured I was just gonna come off the trail a little bit. I don't know if I hit a bump, I hit a tree. I'm not sure exactly what I hit, but all I know is normally on that trail when I look at Strava, my speeds are somewhere between the 30, 35-ish and up range. I was carrying a lot of speed right there. That's before you start hitting all the berms and get slowed down a little. So let's just say I was doing 30 to 35 and went over the bars. Unfortunately, that day when I left, I have a full face Troy Lee stage helmet and I have a Troy Lee half helmet. And that day I decided it was too hot for my full face helmet, even though I picked up the helmet bag and was like, oh, I'm going to wear this. I planned on trying to set some PRs, and I set it down because I thought to myself, man, it's going to be way too hot. And, well, went over the bars, came down face first, definitely knocked myself out instantly. I've been knocked out enough times, be it bikes, fights, so on and so forth. I knew I went out. You kind of hear me in that video. You hear that deep coming back to the wind knocked out of me. And I went back out again for a couple seconds. In total, before I was taken out by fire rescue, I went out 3 times. Besides those 2. Thank God my buddy was riding with me. That dude was like saving grace, handled it like a champ. There's about 3 minutes of that video before I asked him to turn it off. Maybe one day I'll post it for everybody to see, but there's some oh gods, there's some F-bombs in there. There's some funny, I pulled a Johnny Knoxville, is what I used to say when I rode BMX. Johnny Knoxville in one of the Jackass movies always goes, how's this? And goes like this towards his face. And they go, yeah, it's good. And he goes, oh, well, we're good then. I pulled one of those moments. How bad is my face? And because I could feel the blood. I thought I just demolished my face because I didn't have a full face helmet on. Figured I had a broken nose, and I knew I had some trauma to my lip. On the outside, you could still kind of see it. It's a nice little scar there. Got a little Joaquin Phoenix thing going on. Bad part about that is on the inside too. Is I don't know how it didn't go all the way through because it's right there. I can still feel it on the inside. Essentially, I didn't have my phone with me. I leave it in the car. Got on my Apple Watch. I tried to call my fiance. She didn't pick up. Called my mom. Said, hey, you need to call Sandal and call her until you get a hold of her and let her know that I crashed and it's really bad. Of course, my mom went into panic. Crashed. What were you in your car or on your bike? And I'm not a detail guy, and I always tell my fiance that I'm not a detail guy. And I got really frustrated and told my mom never mind and hung up the phone, hung up the watch, I should say. She kept trying to call back. At that point, I couldn't even focus on the watch to see who was calling, who wasn't calling. My buddy Eddie asked me what's broken, and I said, I don't know. You're gonna have to give me a second. I think everything's broken. I've went down really hard before, but never that hard. I mean, I've made myself do the fish. I've came off handrails and I've smacked handrails rolling fakie and trying to 180 down a set of stairs and slid out and smacked my head against the handrail, and that was probably one of the worst I could remember of everyone telling me because I've full blown fished it for, I don't know, they say 3 to 5 minutes, and I don't know, I've beat myself up, but it's never been one like this. I asked my buddy how we're going to even get out of here, and he said, well, I'm going to have to push your bike up to the top of a cactus over here, and we're going to have to get back over there. And pretty much at that point, we can just take it downhill, Jeff. And at that point, I said, I don't even think I can do it, bro. And he already tried to help me up, and I did get up, and with his help of grabbing me by my elbow and getting, excuse me, getting me up, and I know what it feels to have those flashes and know you're going out. And I kneeled down and I went back out, and I asked him at one point to call 911, and he kind of lollygagged. I don't think he thought I was serious, and excuse me, let me get a drink. Still kind of beat up. It was probably a minute, 2 minutes. I don't know. It could have been 30 seconds. I had no sense of time. And I said, no, Eddie, you need to call 911. I can't get out of here, bro. And so we did. It was a long wait. Fire rescue finally got there. When I realized that I couldn't get out of there, I knew nothing was like collarbone. I mean, I've broken collarbones. They're horrible to break. I knew my arms and legs weren't broken. What got me was before I passed out, when I was standing up and had to kneel down, is I had the most excruciating pain through my fingers. And it was kind of a combination of pins and needles, somebody running over my fingers with a Mack truck, and then my body trying to explode out of my fingertips. The first rescue guy that got there, I was in the fetal position at that point, and I had my hands pretty much in a praying motion in between my thighs because that was the only thing that was making my hands feel better. My body hurt, but my fingers were the most excruciating thing I've ever felt. And he kind of explained to me, he was a dude who rode a mountain bike, rides mountain bikes. It kind of explained to me why it happened, and it's the nerves and all that, and they're just firing in over time and things like that. And man, it was bad. And those guys were solid. I mean, they wanted to medi-flight me out. They couldn't because where I was on on Yucca. Sorry if I said cactus earlier. I was on Yucca. Where I was on Yucca, I was between two power lines, so they couldn't get a basket down safely, I guess. So those guys had to, I don't even know what they did. They put me on a board, which was horrible. Somebody hit my fingers with the little seat belt, and which was even more horrible. And they had to put a little four-wheel drive wheel on that thing, and those dudes had to carry me probably I don't know, mile up that hill, and then all the way down a trail. I don't even know what that trail would be called, down to the middle school that's down there, and there was an ambulance waiting for me. Um, I gave the first rescue guy some pretty broke it down in some medical terms, because I know a little thing about trauma and medical terms. Talk about that another time, but I broke it down to him the way an EMT or somebody that knows something would, and he said, "Okay, so obviously you got a medical background here, so that makes it a lot easier." And they got me down there, man, and they got me in the ambulance, and they took me to a trauma center. I had Nurse Ratchet. It's funny, I was at my therapist's office today, and I was telling her, and she exactly knew the hospital, and she knew exactly who the nurse was because she had the same problem when her brother was there. They did. They offered me morphine. As some people know, I'm in recovery. I'm not a recovering addict. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I said, "Is there anything besides morphine?" And Nurse Ratchet said, "Oh, what were you, a former heroin addict?" And my words to her, excuse my language, were, "I've never done fucking heroin in my life." And they put me on a Tylenol drip, which I mean, you might as well just freaking put seltzer water into the IV the way I saw it. And they got some X-rays, and that chick really didn't give two shits about how bad my fingers hurt. I think every chance she got, she hit them with wires, blankets, and everything else. I've been treated badly, being a tattooed face guy and broken some bones in my life. I normally get treated like I'm med seeking or I'm an idiot and things like that. And so I'm used to that, but it's the worst I've ever been treated. And after those X-rays, Nurse Ratchet wheeled me to get a CT scan. When we came back, I decided I was going to leave. They wanted to keep me. They wanted to do an MRI, and I just wasn't going to stay there. I'm a dude who deals with anxiety. Since I've been in recovery, my anxiety, depression, all that stuff's night and day difference. It's almost non-existent compared to what it used to be. And you know what? I'm gonna pause this video real quick and grab a light for my GoPro because I just realized it's so dark. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I didn't realize it got so dark so fast. So I decided I was done, and I asked if she could take the IVs out, and she said, "Well, we're going to keep you overnight, blah, blah, blah." I said, "No, you're not." I said, "So do you want me to pull these IVs out because I've done that before in a hospital, or do you want to do it?" And she told me to hold on. It was the end of her shift. A nice dude came back that was a male nurse. He tried to get me to stay. Super awesome dude. Completely. I wish he would have been there from the get go. It would have been a different vibe. And I just told him I couldn't do it. The doctor came down. That's when he told me I had a cracked vertebrae, and that if I leave, I need to sign a piece of paper because I could have damaged my carotid artery, and I could have a blood clot, which in turn could give me a stroke, or I could die. And I said, "Well, I'll deal with that compared to being here, not dealing with it after Nurse Ratchet's attitude towards me." And he said, "Well, good. Hopefully it doesn't happen," and smirked. And that was that. Got dressed. the nurse, doctor told the nurse, because he asked if I had a shirt, and I said, no, I didn't have a shirt because the rescue cut it off. They cut off my Fast House jersey, and he said, well, I'll get you something. The doctor said, no, he can leave without a shirt. And that nurse got me a gown. He actually helped me get up off the bed, helped me get my socks on, and helped me get my shoes on, and put his arm around my elbow and kind of walked me out towards the parking lot where my fiance was. And I wish everybody at the hospital was like that, but unfortunately it wasn't like that. So I went home, and that night was the worst pain I've ever been in. Not my neck, not anything. It was my hands. My hands just they felt. I don't wish that pain on my worst enemy. I can't explain it. It was just a really horrible feeling that pins and needles, Mack truck parked on top of them, and my body literally trying to explode out of them. And the next morning, I went to my primary care doctor, which happens to be at an urgent care down the street. And I told one of the ladies that works in reception, she was getting out of her car, and I just walked up and I said, I need your help. And she said, of course. And they got me in there. I got a doctor I never saw before. I said, hey, I don't like to do this, and I feel weird, but if you look at my chart, anytime you guys offer me any medication or anything for pain, I turn it down, but I desperately need something. I can't deal with this. And he said, oh, he's all, no, not a problem. He's a dude who rides Harleys. He had a bad Harley accident, was in a coma for 5 days before in his life, so he got it. And man, he just gave me a little relief. And to be honest, I mean, that night I was going through it. I mean, I don't like pain pills. I take my recovery really serious, and I was just hurting at this point. Everything was coming back to me, like the neck, the shoulders, the arms. I mean, wasn't sure if I broke my arm because there was so much pain, but I was like, it can't be broken. I can move it. And I was like, well, I got little Popeye muscles at the top sides of my forearms. Maybe I just bruised it because I knew I came down on one of them. And I'll read you something, and we'll get into another part of this. I messaged my sponsor, and I said, I don't know how to sugarcoat this. So I'm physically broken, mentally broken, and spiritually bankrupt right now. I'm really debating just taking all these pills I was prescribed from my stupidity of crashing and calling it a day. I love you, bro. Thanks for everything you've done for me. Fuck. Well, I guess it's as real as it gets, man. I'm not known for being fake, so everything you've done for me. Thanks for everything. I just don't have it in me anymore to feel like this. Shit. This sucks. I didn't think I was going to cry this much. Basically, it sitting there that night, it took me back to what it used to be like when I'd be sitting on my patio or on my balcony drinking by myself and just fucking, you know what I mean? My head's a bad neighborhood, and if I get in there, man, it's not the place to be by yourself. I mean, it's you don't want to be there when it's like that. And I just went for the ride, and I was having a hard time, obviously. And I've said before in these videos, and people that know me or see my posts, I mean, I used to suffer from overwhelming depression and anxiety. And I mean, the last 3 or 4 months before I quit drinking, I have no idea how I didn't commit suicide because I thought about it every day. So I sent that to him, and he sponsor responded back, and he goes, "I know you're feeling down, my brother, and you're hurting, but I don't know how to sugarcoat this either. But if you do something stupid, I will hate you forever. You may not think so, but I fucking need you. You and I are cut from the same cloth. I have nobody that can relate to me as you do. I love you, bro, so much. Think about that. Think about your son. He needs his father. I need my brother. We will get through this. It's just another bump in the road." Well, then he says, "Well, big bump, but nevertheless, we can get through this. Please promise me you'll be around. Fucking love you, bro." And followed by, "Call me, bro. We need to pray and all Jesus to take control and have Jesus take control of this. Let's put it in him. Let him have the burden." And that kind of snapped me back because I learned through a 12-step program and working some steps and trying to apply those steps to my life on a daily basis that I was right back to being selfish and self-centered, and snapped me back to reality, and it was what I needed. And it's just crazy. It's crazy how fast something, you know what I mean? I never thought something like a crash would bring me to feeling like that or being like that. And I think it was just, honestly, I was bothered because I had to take some medication, and I take my sobriety seriously. It doesn't mean I'm not sober because they were prescribed by a doctor. And honestly, since I don't even like pills, but since the since they were picked up from the pharmacy, I handed them to Sandal and said, "Just keep track of when I'm supposed to take them, and don't give them to me any earlier than what it says." Um, just because I don't want to be that dude who makes a mistake and has to start my sobriety time over because it means something to me. I've worked my ass off to become a better person, and well, it's progress, not perfection. Still sober, made it through it, got a different perspective. Thankful actually for feeling that way because it gave me a little reality check of what it used to be like and how good I have it now. My life's not perfect by any means, but it's far better than what I deserve, and far better than what I ever thought it would be. So I just wanted to check in and kind of talk about what happened, talk about the feelings that went with it. Um, if you're somebody listening to this and you're having problems with being depressed and anxiety and stuff like that, man, I leave a comment, find me on Instagram, drop me a DM. I will definitely take the time for anybody who's going through a hard time and try to help them or give them some suggestions to get their life going in a different direction. Same goes for if you got a problem and want to get sober, not really sure how. I'm a guy you can talk to because I always make the joke, if I can do it, anybody could do it. I got a sponsor where if you heard his story, if that guy could do it, anybody can do it. And I'm just thankful. What's funny is I got some friends on Instagram. Uh, got some dudes that I met through Instagram that are my real life friends that I've hung out with. I got friends that I knew long before Instagram was around. I got dudes I've known half my life on my Instagram, and family and things like that saw the post and things like that. And they just click like. Not a phone call, not a text. What I will say is the people that reached out are the people in my sobriety gang, as I call it, in my lineage of my sponsor and my grand sponsor and all those guys. All essentially were it's my sobriety gang, and those dudes reached out in full force, and basically I got all the things you would hear from homies and family. If you need anything, don't hesitate. What can I bring you over? What can I do for you? And you know what? It was none of my buddies that I used to ride choppers with and drink beer all the time with, or dudes that I've known, you know what I mean, 10, 15, 20 years. None of those guys reached out and said, really sincerely said, hey, how you doing? Or do you need it? If they're local, you need anything? Can I bring you anything over? And it just made me reflect on who my friends are and what's really important. So, found out today. I had a bunch of x-rays yesterday, little update, and I'll be done. Had some x-rays yesterday, x-rays, arms, shoulders, hands, everything like that. My shoulder is fractured, so just waiting for insurance to approve the MRI. So I'll have an MRI. We'll figure out how bad the fracture is in my vertebrae. We'll figure out how bad the fracture in my shoulder is. Drop my bike over off at I normally go to Path. I took it over to Bike Co because I was having a conversation with one of the dudes over there, and we were talking about forks, and I told him I had a set of forks, and everybody was telling me they wouldn't work on my bike because I bought them for my 29er, and he was like, that's ridiculous. Let's get them squared away and put on your bike. So he's doing that. He's threw a bigger rotor on there because I had bent the front rotor on it, and he's going to go through, check out my carbon bars, make sure that I didn't bend them or they're not cracked. I mean, that's the last thing I need is get back on the bike and carbon bars snap and stab myself in the gut with them or something. And so they got my bike. They're taking care of it. He's going to do a once over and make sure it's all squared away and good. And that's that. I mean, he's got it for a week or two, and then I mean, we'll see how long this shoulder and vertebrae takes to be told I'm going to be able to get back on the bike. I was supposed to have stomach surgery on the 16th, abdominal surgery. They're not going to be able to do that because I got the vertebrae problem, so that's going to have to be put off. And you know what I mean? Just roll through it one day at a time. That's all I can do. I'll be back on the bike. Man, I'm not known for I guess I don't want to use the P word, but everyone knows what I want to say. I'm not known for being that guy. I'm normally a guy who okay, I hit the ground, I'll grab a wheelbarrow, throw my balls in it, and freaking take off, and let's see how it goes. And that's how it's going to be. I just this time got a full face helmet on. Ordered one of the, I think they're pronounced Liat, I don't know, neck braces, because I'm sure that would have helped out a bunch. Dropped some money on one of those. Had that, it was here before the weekend was even over, so I got that sitting up there, and got some good people around me. My fiance is above and beyond, just being heaven sent, taking care of me, and got good doctors and good friends, and well, that's what happened. That's the story to the over the bars. So sorry for crying on YouTube, and but it's real talk, man. It's how it is, and man, thanks for everybody who supports me. Hope you like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Maybe leave a comment. Maybe if you're not following, follow. Click that follow button. Maybe if you know somebody who's going through a hard time, and maybe some of the words or the message, part of the message I said in this video would help them, forward it to them. And like I said, if you're having a hard time yourself, leave a comment, find me on Instagram, find me on the Facebook, whatever it may be. Drop me a message, and it's not going to be left unread. I will definitely take the time and reach out and respond back to you and do what I can to help you out, because, well, that's what some people did for me. And that 12-step program I work is, that's what it taught me, is to be there for others and help others just the way that I was helped. So hopefully you guys all have a good night, a good day, whatever it is when you check this out. And thanks for listening. That's all I got. And one last thing, I mentioned some people that reached out right away to me. As soon as I posted the Instagram post of me going over the bars and talked about what happened, Intrepid Ride Co. Was the first person out of anybody on either of my Instagrams to reach out to me and send me a DM and wish me well and all that. And super stoked. That's why I support that company. And somehow or another, they decided to support me, make me one of their athletes. So if you're not following them, I'm going to put it up on the screen, a little what their Instagram name is. And you should go follow them. And I'm a big proponent of support those who support you.